Welcome to session 7. In this session we're going to learn two of our performance pieces, a song called A Quick Foray and another one called HOU Daytime 7. Now a quick foray is done with the Arpeggio style and HOU Daytime 7 with a finger style with a nice offbeat bass there, and they're both quite tricky to do. In fact, they're very difficult to do. What you need to do is you really need to have a good working knowledge of sessions 1 through to 6. You need to be proficient at all the exercises and all the techniques and all the chords and all the styles of playing that we learn throughout them to be able to play these pieces there. Anyway, we'll show you the first one now. It's called A Quick Foray. What I'll do is just show you a bit how the arpeggio works and a little bit of the tricky parts to it, and then from there you'll be on your own. I'll play the song for you twice, once fast and once very slowly, and you should be able to pick up exactly what's going on from that. You've got the music as well, and you have to follow the music quite strongly. So let's have a look at A Quick Foray. Let's have a look at the first bar of it. It starts on a D chord, nice and easy, so we're on a D, and you can see it's got 4 30-second notes there with the 3 bars going across the top, very, very fast notes. What they are is when you push the pick and touch on the 4th string down here and just push it down quite quickly. Faster than you would do an arpeggio, but not as fast as a strum. So it's not this fast, but it's not this slow. It's somewhere in the middle there, about that speed there. What that's called is a gliss, and it's very difficult to represent a gliss on paper, but that's probably about the best we've got there. We just push it down quite quickly. Once we've done that, we then take the 4th finger and we're going to hammer onto the 3rd string there, onto the D sus4 chord. And then we're going to take 2 upstrokes there on the 1st and 2nd strings after taking the little finger off and back to a D chord again. So that's our first half of the bar. Second half is nice and easy. Downstroke on the bass note again, and then up, up, up. Downstroke on the bass, up, up, up. Then we switch chords here to a C add 9. So we come over there to the C add 9 chord. Now of course when we switch from the D chord to the C add 9 we can leave the 3rd finger there on the D note on the 2nd fret of the 3rd string. There's no reason to lift the whole chord off. And that's something that's actually prevalent through the whole of this song. All the chords, the C add 9, the G with a B, A7 sus4, D with an F sharp and a G, all the chords you keep the 3rd finger down on the D note. It's quite an interesting little technique. It's minimum left hand movement because our hand's just moving around very minimally into different chords and the right hand's doing all the work, which is what gives the song its flavour and its interest there. So if we're on the D chord, we're going to switch to the C add 9, so we switch there, we do a downstroke on the bass note, and then an upstroke on the 1st and 2nd strings. Next chord then is a G6 with a B bass, so from there we just lift off our 2nd finger and take our 1st finger and place it onto the 2nd fret of the 5th string, do a strum across all 5 strings, and then up, up, up on the 1st, 2nd and 3rd strings. So our first 2-bar phrase is nice and easy. On the 3rd and 4th bars it just reverses that. Does the same thing on the D again. And instead of going from C add 9 to G with a B, it goes from G with a B to C add 9. So our first 4 bars is nice and simple. So there, always on the bass notes we're picking the down, or we're doing a downstroke, and always on the rest of it it's upstrokes there. It's quite fast for your right hand there, and it really has to be accurate or else you won't be able to pull it off correctly there. But it's a good technique. The rest of the song just follows along those same themes there, and it's quite easy to get the hang of once you've learned the chords and understand exactly how the arpeggio works there. So let's go and play it for you now. I'll play it twice for you. Once very slowly, where you can follow along nice and easily and nice and gently, and the second time I'll play it up to speed, which is where it really lifts up out of its shell and becomes a really nice piece to listen to. I'll play the song A Quick Foray for you at a nice slow sedate pace so you can follow along. and it just repeats itself from there again. So what you want to do is you want to take note of when it's picking down and when it's picking up there. It's virtually always picking a downstroke on the bass note of the chord and always upstrokes for the rest. The exceptions in the chorus there, where on the D with an F sharp note, we do a downstroke here and then up, up. Then on a G, we do a strum, and then up, up, up again. Then on the C add 9 chord here, where we just drop our first and second fingers down the string, we're going to pick down, down, down. And then the strum again. And that gives it a unique sound. Because throughout the rest of the piece, it's always been going with the bass and then the treble notes. That type of sound. And then on this chorus, all of a sudden, we do that type sound on the first 2 chords. And then we've got a down, down, down. And it sounds a bit out of place there, but it sounds quite nifty. So that's the piece played very slow. I'll play it for you fast now at the normal pace and just see how it lifts up with the nice fast arpeggios there. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's a quick foray at a much faster pace there. So as you can see, it's a very exciting piece of music there. It'll certainly merit from your utmost attention to get it right and get it accurate with the right hand. If you don't get it accurate, then it just sounds like any other chord progression using chords of C, D, C add 9 and G, which as we know thousands of songs use them. But by utilising the right hand technique and the arpeggio, we make it into a completely new, interesting and different sound there.